Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Muhammad Nazim with the 42nd lecture. Today we'll be reaching another milestone of our communication skills course. We are already way down and just 3 lectures away from the completion of this course. But when I say that we are reaching another big milestone, I mean that I'm happy today, I'm with the good news, and that's why I'm sharing it right in the beginning, rather than when I conclude this and then tell you that, oh, we have completed another important phase of our series of lectures. And that news which I want to share with you is, as I say, it's a good news, is that today would be the last lecture for the business letters. We would have finished completely sharing the knowledge and developing your expertise on how to write various business letters. By the time we close today's lecture, you would have learned a lot about various types of letters. We started with the direct request letters. You learned how to inquire about products, services, inquiring about a person, making inquiries about special services like reservations, or want to visit a new place, you want to make reservations, etc., etc. Means direct request letters, you by now fairly know how to write those letters. Then we talked about good news letters. That is, telling somebody that he or she has been granted extension, granted facilities, given a job, etc., etc. So that was another form of letters you learned. Then very difficult form of letters, disappointing letters, bad news letters. You learned in detail how to share the bad news. And then finally, very difficult piece of business writing, and those were the persuasive letters. And I fairly dealt in detail about how to persuade a person, telling a person to change his or her habits, taking actions which a person does not readily accept. So changing the belief system, changing the attitudinal behavior, etc., etc., those were the things which I told you in my last 2 lectures, especially writing persuasive letters. I also told you that in the business field, you will be writing letters promoting the sales, and promoting sales, and at the same time requesting people to abide by certain rules and regulations of the company, which they in a way might be violating by not giving back or not honoring the commitments. Those is what I say is the collection letters. So today I will be spending a bit of time, not much of it, but showing to you some specimens, few examples of the persuasive letter writings, which I mentioned to you, I promised you last time that I will start with that, telling you how to write good collection letters, and also few examples of promoting sales. So today I would be starting with those specimen letters, and then finally ending with another series of good letters which you would be frequently writing during your professional career, and those are the memorandums, memos as we call it, and then the short reports. So inshallah today, after about 50 minutes, you will be closing one important chapter, and I hope that you will continue on practicing these letter writing, and inshallah in my next 2 or 3 lectures I'll be talking about a very different field altogether, and that is writing your CV or the memos, and how to prepare for an interview. And finally, we'll say goodbye to each other, because that would be a really happy ending of sharing a lot of knowledge and experience, which I believe would be contributing a lot in your professional career. आइए हम जल्दी से persuasive letters के कुछ specimens देखें, और वही बातें जो मैंने आपको पिछले lectures में focus की थी, ग्रैबर के ऊपर, अटेंशन गेटर पे, और फिर कैसे हम इंटरेस्ट inculcate करते हैं reader की, and then increase the desire, and finally we persuade a person to take action. आइए, let's look at the first example at the screen. Here is a specimen of an effective sales letter, because basically sales involves a lot of persuasion. People do not easily are persuaded to buy a new product or any new services which you are offering. So look here at the example. The beginning, the attention getter, the grabber, the way the opening paragraph is constructed. You are one of the several hundred carefully selected customers who have been approved for a special credit opportunity. अब देखिए, इस paragraph में we have made the person feel important. Attention, that you are one of the several hundred. Understand? Attention, this is a grabber. Further down in the next paragraph. Only a small percentage of Pakistanis are financially responsible enough to meet the stringent selection criteria for a credit card. And you are one of the few with exceptional credit worthiness. When I'm talking about the stringent selection, that is the strong, hard selection process है. अब देखिए, इस पैराग्राफ के अंदर पहले हमने ग्रैबर से उसकी अटेंशन बंदे की अट्रैक्ट की, and then created an interest that you are one of the few Pakistanis, so might as well avail the opportunity. You understand? That is how you build up a person's faith that uska image kya hai, a distinction hai, lihaza a person is forced to read what you want to offer to that person. आगे next paragraph के अंदर हम क्या करेंगे? We will increase the person's desire to take action. Your credit authorization certificate is enclosed. अब देखिए यहाँ we are telling the person to take action. We have increased the interest, we have increased the desire. Now, what is the final action the person need to take? Simply take this certificate to your local authorized electronic dealer, and you can take your new whatever, computer or camera or whatever you can add to it. A charge account agreement form is also enclosed. Ab yahan, by putting these things, you are making the person take definitive action. You understand? That is how you should be constructing persuasive letters. और इसके बाद आप next paragraph you can add by explaining the advantages. कि इस action लेने के बाद ये जो नया product आदमी आप बेच रहे हैं, खरीदेगा, उसके advantages क्या होंगे? You fairly know how to write. I have already explained to you earlier in previous letters. I'm not going into detail, but the most important part, what I wanted you to learn and to see how to write was the grabber, the first portion, कैसे उसका attention attract करनी है, and then increasing the desire, and finally what action the person need to take. And then finally closing part or the section where you outline the action where the person has taken, appreciating or whatever you want to add. But the most important part is the grabber, and then this, which I have already shown you on the screen. Let's take another example. Example 2. Look at the screen. Did you know that 1 out of 4 residents in your area becomes a victim of theft? Now, देखिए, यहाँ एक asking a question, a provocative question है. That is, provocative question is you're provoking a person, giving the information, and as well realizing that 1 of the 4 residents, they become a victim of theft. How would you feel if you returned to your home and discovered that your hard-earned stereo or computer or microwave had been stolen? Remember, locked doors won't stop a determined thief. इस paragraph को देखिए. That is how I want you to write. Persuasive writing में creativity. अब यहां से you can well imagine ये सेल्स पर्सन क्या बेचता है? सेफ्टी सिस्टम बेच रहा है. He or she, whosoever the salesperson is, trying to persuade the person, the reader, that look here, it is not safe, even if you may have locked doors, you are very careful, but आपकी community के अंदर frequent ऐसी complaints हैं, making the person aware. Look at the next paragraph. My home was burglarized too. That's why I have developed a simple to install security system which works like an auto alarm and can be installed on the main gate without the help of any other person. Persuasion का अंदाज देखिए. That is easy to install. Maybe a person might be afraid कि पता नहीं how many expenses, how much would be involved in installing the system. This is simple, easy to install. The small activator hooks to your keychain. Just press the lock key. A beep tells you your home is secure, and a blinking red light warns the intruder to stay away. See, this paragraph explains how the product works. That is, by telling it so simple, it is so safe, it is so secure, the writer is increasing your interest. पहले में grab किया कि look here, you need security. Then explained further and increased your interest. इस तरह से आपने सारे letters लिखने हैं. Understand? So, I just wanted to give you these two specimens. That is, you can further explain the further advantages of it, but you must start writing letters, persuasive letters like that. दूसरे किस्म के letters जो कि collections letters हैं, वो भी आपने persuasive तरीके से सीखने हैं. मैंने शुरू में आपको बताया कि आपको दो किस्म के letters पे competence develop करनी है. पहले promotion of the sales and then collection, because people would be delaying the payments, overdue जो dues होंगे वो कैसे collect करने हैं. तो collection जो letters हैं, they need to be dealt with very carefully. You cannot write to a customer that please pay or otherwise we are going to take a stern action, या हम आपकी credit limit cancel कर देंगे वगैरह वगैरह. Because one thing is very important, you want to maintain the relationship. मैं throughout आपको letter writing में बताता आया हूं कि letter writing के अंदर चाहे वो bad news letter हो, चाहे वो persuasive letters, you have to keep in mind that you want to develop the relationship, you want to maintain the business relationship. So collection letters maybe, I will be showing to you 4 specimens, 4 paragraphs. That is, you have to approach it in a very selective, careful way. First, write a reminder. Maybe you use different techniques of trying to remind the person about his or her good reputation, fairness of the deal, etc., etc. And then finally, after 2 or 3 letters, if you still see that the person is not responding, then the only final recourse is filing or sending a letter where you would be warning that person that you are now, you got no choice but to take a legal action. तो आज मैं आपको collection letters में 4 different forms of letters दिखाऊंगा. And as a matter of fact, those would be the paragraphs. So give you an idea कि जो आपने format अभी sales letters में देखा है, यही आप इसी तरीके से follow करते हुए gradually start putting pressure or persuading the person so that he or she could abide by the dues or the obligation the person is supposed to be doing. तो पहली अपील जो आपने collection letters में करनी है, that is the appeal to fair play. Persuasion letters के अंदर पहले fair play का आप जो है ना इस्तेमाल कीजिए. Weapon, it's a weapon in fact, because you use it so effectively that you persuade the person that, look here, we have been very fair, likewise you be fair too. Screen pe dekhiye. The special instructions in your order indicated that the glassware was needed by, whatever the date is, here I have put December 10. So we sent the order to you by Air Express at your expense. As a matter of fact, what has happened in this dealing with the customer is that the supplier sent the product by air. So naturally, the cost of transportation would have increased. And the reader or the receiver refused to pay. And that's why they are claiming an excessive charge. So justification is here in the first paragraph. Second, we believe that we have been fair with you, and we are certain that you intend to be equally fair with us. Will you therefore please send us your check for the amount due? Understand? Because now here is a very decent way. Here a very good way of appealing to the person that you needed the product in a very shortest possible time, which otherwise wouldn't have been if we had not sent it by airmail, by Air Express services. So that's why please pay the extra charge. So pehli appeal aapki, fair play, establishing fair relationship with the person. Second appeal could be appeal to good credit reputation, because the person is not paying back, uske amount overdue ho rahi hai, and it is going to affect the credit reputation. Look, how can we construct a good paragraph on that? We remember very well the favorable comments made by several of your credit references when you applied for credit. Now, since this product was sent on credit basis, और उससे पहले supplier ने उसकी credit reputation का पता कर लिया था, and that's why the reference is being given that you had a very good reputation. So, keeping that in mind, we shipped you the product. Because of this good credit reputation, we do not want you to lose it. Is the past due status of your account an oversight? अब ये देखिए, again, a positive attitude. Using positive words. इसमें negativity नहीं है, that you are not paying the outstanding amount. You say, is it an oversight? Polite way of reminding the person that the amount is already overdue. So that we will be able to recommend you someday as a credit customer, please protect your credit reputation by sending your check for rupees 20,000. अब यहाँ supplier उसको remind करा रहा है कि अगर आप ये amount हमारी pay नहीं करोगे, तो अगर in future somebody asks us about your credit reputation, you see, here it is implicit that be careful. कल को अगर हमसे कोई आपकी credit reputation पूछेगा, तो we would like to say, yes, he or she has a very good credit reputation. So obviously, when a person who is into the business would not like that his or her credit reputation is marred, उसके ऊपर कोई धब्बा आ जाए. So that's why another very good way, another very good persuasive, effective persuasive letter जो कि appeal कर रहा है for the good reputation of a person. Third way of persuading a person is appealing to the pride. अब ये देखिए, ये मैं सारी आपको techniques इसलिए बता रहा हूं कि you have to remember these things. Whenever you are dealing with a person to convince, persuade करना है, उसकी कोई ऐसी habit है जो कि आप change करना चाहते हैं, use these techniques. Fair play, credibility, and you know, throughout मैंने आपको even oral communication में भी, when I was talking to you about persuasive speeches, the only thing which makes a good speaker make the others listen is credibility. So credibility is very important. तो यहाँ भी आप credibility writing के अंदर इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Now, the third appeal is the appeal to pride. मैं आपको स्क्रीन के ऊपर फिर एक खूबसूरत construction दिखा रहा हूँ. You might as well try to construct or format such letters appealing to the pride in various situations. During the 6 years that you have had a charge account with us, we have been very proud of the way in which you have met your financial obligations. Appreciating. उसको reader को बता रहे हैं कि you have always been very punctual in paying back the things. We are sure that you too take a great pride in keeping your account balance paid up. We are confident that you will want to pay the balance of your past due account very soon, which will enable you to continue to take pride in your good credit reputation. Mind it, good credit reputation for a businessman is very important. All that you cater for in business dealing is good reputation. अगर आपकी reputation खराब हो जाए, चाहे you as a professional working for an organization or your organization or dealing with a customer, it is very, very important that you take care of the good reputation. You lose the business. And that's why appeal to pride is very effective. Appeal to fear legal action. Once you have exhausted these 3 appeals, then this is the final one. Please don't use this. Don't use as a threat. This is in fact a threat, because this is the ultimate. आपने जब आपकी पिछली appeals are not effective, then this is the only way out. How to construct that? Look at the screen. We believe that we have given you ample time to pay your account, or at least to explain to us why you have chosen not to pay. Now we are forced to take more drastic action. अब ये देखिए, यहाँ आपने you have exhausted all the other various options, और फिर you are making the person realize that we had no choice, and that's why we are writing this final letter. Unless we have your full payment by, you have to give a date. By this dead date, we will turn your account over to our collection department. यहाँ भी again you are being very polite, कि फिर ये चीज हमसे collection department में चली जाएगी. To avoid the inconvenience of a poor credit reputation, will you please pay your account in full by December 10th. Doing so will enable you to protect your credit reputation. Again, look at this. Although this is not a very pleasant letter, but yet there is no threat. इसमें आप अपने customer को irritate नहीं कर रहे. And throughout my lectures, I have told you one thing. Under no situation and no circumstances should you show your anger either to the audience or to the reader. Keep in mind, गुस्से पे आपने हमेशा, and I told you again at one time, that never write a letter when you are in an angry mood. Okay? So here too, you're very annoyed कि आपका reader जो है, आपका customer is not obliging by the commitment, but still you make this appeal that you'll be taking a legal action by still being very polite. I hope कि ये आपको persuasive letters के जो मैंने specimens दिखाए हैं, आपको बड़े सूदमंद साबित होंगे, and you will be practicing these. Inshallah, will be very helpful in your professional life. आइए अब एक और किस्म के letters की बात करें. And these letters are memorandums or short reports भी हैं. When I'm talking to you about memorandum, which is even briefly called as memos, आप अपनी professional life में बहुत से memos लिखेंगे. And memo is writing letters within the organization, or could be from one office to another office, same company. So memo writings rather informal हैं. आप देखेंगे कि आप इसके अंदर quick information exchange करेंगे, share करेंगे, and इसका format बिल्कुल different है. आइए मैं आपको memo का structure और memo के भी कुछ specimens दिखाऊं, जो कि you would be needing a lot in your professional correspondence. First, what is a memo? A memo is a message written to use within the organization. That is, it stays within the company. The correspondence doesn't go out. If it goes out, it's a letter. But mind it again, यहाँ से मैं थोड़ी सी deviation आपको कर रहा हूँ कि sometimes आप एक ऑफिस से दूसरे ऑफिस को मेमो भेज सकते हैं, लेकिन it stays within the same big organization, only moving from one branch to the other branch. But mostly memos की practice ये है कि आप within the organization at one location you use this sort of pattern of writing. And memos help to keep the various parts of the organization in touch with each other. एक डिपार्टमेंट क्या कर रहा है, एक की क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है, सेल्स मार्केटिंग को लिख रहा है, मार्केटिंग प्रोक्योरमेंट को लिख रहा है, प्रोक्योरमेंट प्रोडक्शन को, शेयरिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन. सो क्विक, इनफॉर्मल, प्रॉम्प्ट, कंसाइज, ये सारे मेमोस का बेसिक एसेंस है. टॉकिंग अबाउट द जनरल फॉर्मेट, द फॉर्मेट इज फेयरली स्टैंडर्ड. इसके अंदर आपने यू डू नॉट फॉलो द कन्वेंशनल वे. आप इसके अंदर सैल्यूटेशन और क्लोजिंग, यू डोंट फॉलो दैट. द फॉर्मेट फेयरली स्टैंडर्ड, दैट इज नॉर्मली यूज अ प्रिंटेड फॉर्मेट and those formats are available, and you simply fill in the vacant spaces. That is, कहाँ जाना है, कौन सी तारीख है, सब्जेक्ट क्या है, कौन भेज रहा है, and then you simply type on the space. स्क्रीन पे देखिए, मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं इसका फॉर्मेट. दैट इज starts with to wherever you want to send to, say to GM production or in charge production, from manager accounts, may or may not write your name, then date, and then the subject. अब ये चार जो इसके requirements हैं, 4 important aspects, ये एक standard format पे होंगे. You simply fill these up, and then without saying dear sir or even putting the name, you straight away put the message down below. This is the general format of a memo. What is the basic purpose of a memo? Memos are prepared for basically requesting information. जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा कि प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट वाले want to know कि what is the status of the inventory of a certain part which might they be requiring during the shutdown. So they would like to send a memo from the production department to the inventory department to know whether store के अंदर क्या क्या चीजें हैं. Likewise, marketing department sales वालों से पूछेंगे कि status क्या है. So requesting information which might be desired for their meetings or for preparing schedules ahead of time. Memos are also used. Memos are also prepared for giving instructions, telling various departments or telling the people within the department what to do. Instructions के लिए भी इस्तेमाल memos होंगे. Then memos serve as covers for all messages. बाज़ दफ़ा आप के पास you have come across a very good article in a magazine. आपने पढ़ा है, and you want that article to be circulated to the various people within your department. So you will simply attach a memo और उसके ऊपर आप to all employees या all officers in my department, and then आप अपना नाम और date और subject उस article का reference दे देंगे आपको. So that's how you use as a cover. And then also memos are used for making announcements. Within organization, आपकी कोई भी announcement, say bad news, death of somebody, somebody is not coming up for certain reason, somebody has left, somebody joined in, ऐसी announcements, holidays के announcements. I'll be showing you a couple of specimens today, but this such information can be circulated, shared through memos. Advantages क्या है? Why do we really need using memos, and why we do not write letters. A memo is easy. Memo is, it doesn't involve formality. And secondly, the biggest advantage of a memo is that memo solves problems by transmitting information. You inform the reader about solutions, policy changes हैं, price increases हैं, ये आप through memo ही आप अपने employees के साथ share करें. You can persuade the reader within your organization to take certain action. Like you want to invite people for a meeting, you will use a memo. You will never write a letter. You want to change some production procedures, you will send a memo that this is how you should be doing instead of what the past practices are. If the procedures are very lengthy and you have written a report, फिर आप उसके साथ memo के ऊपर आप बता देंगे कि what new changes you are proposing, a brief summary of or hints that these paragraphs need to be taken care of. So वो you will put it into a memo. Also, greatest advantage of a memo is that it provides a written record. कितनी meetings हुई, कब हुई, कौन से subjects पे हुई, you need a record. So, a very easy way of keeping a record. So, you use memos for that. And also, another great advantage of a memo is that one single letter can reach various people at the same time. आप, when you say to all the department heads, एक ही letter लिखा है और सारे department heads के पास चला जाएगा. So that's another great convenience that you can use a memo to reach to various people. आइए start looking at the specimens. मैं आपको एक example दिखा रहा हूँ of a memo for requesting the information. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि memo is mostly used for sharing the information. अब इस memo में जो मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ, this memo is sent to business education department की सारी faculty को भेजा गया है और इसके अंदर has been asked to for some information regarding the film cataloging. आइए देखिए how can we use a memo to share this information. Same procedure to faculty, business education department from, you can put the name, here is M. Ahmad, is the chairman of the business education department, the date is mentioned over there and the subject is film catalog for faculty use. So from here is evident कि memo का क्या है. Now after that straight away the पहला paragraph जो होगा, the writer must state the idea, या वो क्या request कर रहा है, क्या information मांग रहा है, क्या information दे रहा है. The main idea must come first. Keep in mind, memo writing के अंदर you must start with the main idea first. या जो information request आप कर रहे हैं फौरन लिख दीजिए, because keep in mind in business dealings people do not have time and you do not have to beat around the bush straight away. So look at the information which is given in the first paragraph. In order to reduce the time it takes to screen and select appropriate files, we are putting together a catalog of those films which have been used effectively in business education classes. Here, information. कि हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं, and that's why we want you to give us the information. Then, present the details. Please submit to this office the following information using a separate sheet of paper for each film. अब details आप उनसे information मांग रहे हैं, वही जैसे हमने पहले एक information individual के बारे में मांगी थी, 1, 2, 3, 4 questions straight away. Using the same pattern. पहला, film title, appropriate length. This is the information the person is seeking. Second, one paragraph description of the main points made in the film. Give that. And then one paragraph description of how the film relates to the courses in which it was used. हमने ये details have to put into the memo. Then remind the reader of the request and provide additional information. Okay, that is what you should do as well in the next paragraph. Because if you do not mention when the information is needed, the person might take very long. लिहाजा आखिरी पैराग्राफ होगा, please provide this information by whatever the dead date is. Shortly thereafter, you will receive your copy of the completed catalog. Through the cooperation of all faculty members in this project, all of us will benefit. देखिए, that is how you can use this memo to get the information from various people. You can get an input. Okay? Fairly easy. एक और किस्म का मेमो भी आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते. You can formulate a memo, and that is when you give instructions. So, instructions giving memo कैसे लिखना है? Format is the same. I'm not repeating that. To, from, date, and subject would be the same. I've told you in all the memos, this is the standard format. But then, now, writing the main direct message, the direct idea. A new procedure for putting books on reserve will begin at the start of the summer session. Remember to follow these guidelines. अब ये देखिए again, इसमें to the point direct instructions है. वहाँ भी हमने पिछले मेमो में direct information मांगी. Number 1, submit a list of books on the attached form to the reserve department at least 4 weeks before the start of the session in which the books will be assigned. अब देखिए, giving instructions in very clear words. Second, do not include more than 10 books on a form. Third, include the following in each entry on a list: call number, book title, author's name, course number and name, faculty's name, क्योंकि आप बुक्स की रिजर्वेशन करवा रहे हो. और इंस्ट्रक्शंस जब आप किसी को दे रहे हो मेमो के अंदर, all this information should be completely put there. Then, lastly, by following these procedures, you'll be contributing to library efficiency. That's how you should construct a memo with giving instructions. मैंने शुरू में कहा था कि memo can be also used as a covering letter with various information you want to share. आपने कोई स्टडी की है, आप कोई इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करना चाहते हो, आपने कोई अच्छा आर्टिकल पढ़ा है, तो इसे कहते हैं ट्रांसमिटल मेमो. दैट इज ट्रांसमिटिंग समथिंग एंड यू आर गिविंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू द अदर पर्सन, एंड यू डू नॉट हैव टू पुट a detailed message into the memo, but simply as a covering letter आपने मेमो को इस्तेमाल करना है. आइए स्क्रीन पे देखिए, मैं आपको एक ट्रांसमिटल मेमो दिखाता हूं which you are using to guide a person what to do and what you really want that person specifically with the attached information with the transmittal memo. The main body of a memo is written about a research which a person has done. देखिए मेमो की मेन बॉडी क्या होगी. I have done some research on the high rate of turnover among the workers. अब ये ट्रांसमिटल मेमो एक पूरी रिसर्च स्टडी है जिसके साथ जा रहा है. My report is divided into 4 parts and each is preceded by a brief abstract of its contents. Part 1 clarifies the problem and its effects on operation. Part 2 presents a compilation of the supervisor's perceptions of the problem. Part 3 presents a compilation of the worker's perception of the problem. And Part 4 presents conclusions based on the findings of the survey. अब ये देखिए इस transmittal memo के अंदर, as a matter of fact, no details have been given. But it has given an idea to the reader that the report I'm attaching, उसके 4 parts हैं और चारों parts जो हैं इन specific areas में deal करते हैं. आप कोई information या कोई instruction, any policy change you want to share with your employees, you may send the whole report, maybe a very thick report, and you are not sure whether everybody would be reading that. You, by sending a transmittal memo, can tell the reader that please refer to page such and such, paragraph that, which would inform you the changes we are going to incorporate into the procedures or whatever that is. Transmittal memo का ये function है. कि पूरी रिपोर्ट a person might not read, but you can highlight the things which you want a person to read. तो ये भी जो रिसर्च रिपोर्ट थी उसके अंदर the information must have been shared by lots of people, but has mentioned 4 salient features. Those who are interested in reading only the specific part can get to know what is one is interested in. So transmittal memo का एक ये भी function है. And announcement memo. आपको पता है कि जब छुट्टियां आती हैं या कोई शेयरिंग गुड न्यूज़ और बैड न्यूज़, मैं आपको उसका फॉर्मेट दिखाता हूं ताकि यू मे हैव अ फेयरली गुड आइडिया दैट इफ यू नीड टू राइट एन अनाउंसमेंट मेमो यू फेयरली हैव अ गुड इंप्रेशन कि आपने कैसे. सेम फॉर्मेट टू ऑल मैनेजमेंट एंड सुपरवाइजरी पर्सनल. डेट आप डालिए फ्रॉम मैनेजर, प्लांट मैनेजर, जनरल मैनेजर, वॉट एवर. And then subject is paid holidays for full-time employees. So whatever the company is, I have here taken a fictitious company, ABC company, will observe the dates listed below as official holidays during the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2005. These holidays will apply to all regular employees. Part-time employees and probationary workers are not considered regular and therefore are not entitled to receive holiday pay. आपने ये जो announcement करनी है इसके अंदर fairly make it so clear, because आप छुट्टी announce करें, ये ना हो कि probationers भी they might think that they can as well avail the holidays. इसके बाद straight away you put the days. Independence Day है, August 14 है, Defense Day है, September 16, and likewise you can just place the various holidays. And then final, close it by, please see that all personnel under your jurisdiction are made aware of this official holiday schedule. Fairly good way of announcing the holiday schedule. I hope you will keep in mind these 4 memos जो कि मैंने आपको बताए हैं, and then you can practice it if you need. आइए अब आपको मैं quickly memorandum reports, जैसे हमने मेमोरेंडम्स लिखे हैं, मेमोज लिखे हैं, इसी तरह से वी कैन प्रिपेयर मेमोरेंडम रिपोर्ट्स. दैट इज इन योर प्रोफेशनल करियर यू विल नीड टू राइट लॉट्स ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स. और वो रिपोर्ट सिंस इंटरनली यूज मोस्टली होंगी, इसलिए उन रिपोर्ट्स का भी फॉर्मेट आपने मेमो स्टाइल पे ही रखना है. एंड दीज रिपोर्ट्स कैन बी प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट्स. यू आर वर्किंग ऑन अ प्रोजेक्ट और आपको कोई असाइनमेंट दी गई है, and you have to inform your colleagues, your seniors कि project में development कितनी progress हुई. You can do that through progress report. You will be required to submit periodic reports. आप production department में deal करते हैं. Every day you might have to send a memo. आज की production कितनी हुई, कल कितनी थी और आज कितनी हुई है. Frequently आपको periodically, it could be daily, it could be fortnight, it could be monthly, आप अपने डिपार्टमेंट की मंथली रिपोर्ट भेज सकते हैं. सो सच पीरियोडिक रिपोर्ट्स भी आपको तैयार करनी आनी चाहिए. जस्टिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट्स मैं बताऊंगा. जस्टिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट ये है कि यू माइट रिकमेंड समथिंग, और उस रिकमेंडेशन को जो आप पेश कर रहे हैं उसको कैसे आप जस्टिफाई करेंगे कि मेरी रिकमेंडेशन से कंपनी को ये फायदा होगा, इससे ये स्मूथ वर्किंग होगी, मैनेजमेंट में इतनी ये हार्मनी आएगी, एम्प्लॉयज के लिए ये बेनिफिशियल होगा. इसको आपको जस्टिफाई करना होगा. यू कैन यूज अ जस्टिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट. एंड देन फाइनली अ लेटर रिपोर्ट, जो कि इफ यू वांट टू सेंड द सेम मेमो आउटसाइड यू कुड कन्वर्ट इनटू अ लेटर फॉर्मेट. आइए हम जल्दी से प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट का स्पेसिफिक देखें. व्यूअर्स स्क्रीन पे देखिए और केयरफुली इस प्लान को आप ज़हन नशीन कीजिए, क्योंकि आप जब भी प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट आपने तैयार करनी होगी आपको ये एलिमेंट्स उसके अंदर इनकॉर्पोरेट करने होंगे. पहला पार्ट होगा इंट्रोडक्शन. प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट में प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में लिटिल बिट इंट्रोडक्शन आपने यू हैव टू मेंशन, एंड देन समरी ऑफ द प्रोग्रेस ऑलरेडी रिपोर्टेड. इससे पहले आपने क्या रिपोर्ट कर दिया है. देन डिटेल्ड समरी ऑफ प्रोग्रेस, लास्ट रिपोर्टिंग के बाद क्या प्रोग्रेस हुई, दैट इज व्हाट शुड बी पुट इनटू द थर्ड पैराग्राफ. एंड फोर्थ इज द नेचर ऑफ एक्सेप्शनल प्रोग्रेस, बिकॉज यू आर इन्फॉर्मिंग कि क्या चीज हमने पहले से ज्यादा तेजी में अचीव कर ली है. एंड फाइनली समरी ऑफ द वर्क विच इज येट टू बी कंप्लीटेड. तो प्रोजेक्ट की रिपोर्ट को अपने सीनियर्स से, कोलीग्स से शेयर करने के लिए ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स देने बहुत जरूरी हैं. एनी ऑफ दीज मिसिंग विल नॉट बी अ गुड पिक्चर ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट. लेट्स सी एट अ स्पेसिमेन जो कि डिटेल में हाउ टू पुट इट इनटू वर्ड्स. जैसे मैंने कहा था, पहला है इंट्रोडक्शन. द पर्पस ऑफ दिस रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट is to determine the need for training program in XY Corporation. The project which is being undertaken by, say, Mr. Sohail and by me is to be completed by January 1. अब इसके अंदर इंट्रोडक्शन में बता दिया कि ये प्रोजेक्ट जिसके ऊपर मैं काम कर रहा हूं, मेरा दोस्त भी कर रहा है, ये हमने जनवरी तक कंप्लीट कर देना है. ये इंट्रोडक्शन थी. सिंस दी प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑलरेडी इन प्रोग्रेस, लिहाजा ब्रीफ outline. Then summary of the progress already completed. The progress that has been reported up to this point includes the following. To the point ज़्यादा उसके अंदर जिसे कहना चाहिए verbosity की जरूरत नहीं, ज़्यादा details में नहीं. To the point 1, 2, 3 enumerate करें. It's always easy, it's always comfortable. आपके boss quickly they can pick up what is mentioned. 1. Determination of objectives of the project. ये हमने पहले हमने रिपोर्ट कर दी थी. Second, definition of parameters of the project. That is what progress already complete की है. And development of an appropriate research instrument means questionnaires और interviews जो हैं उसका हमने जो research instrument है, जो questionnaires हैं, वो भी हमने पहले. So this summary was already completed जो कि पहले बता दी गई. Then detailed summary of progress. इसके बाद कितना काम हुआ है देखिए. Since the last progress report was prepared, the following have been completed. Obtained approval of the questionnaire and interview record, ये भी ले लिया है. Pilot tested the questionnaire interview record, हमने ये भी कर लिया. देखिए ये progress जो है हम बता रहे हैं. Determined method for selecting the respondents, selected the respondents. हमने methods भी select कर लिए और जिनसे हमने questionnaire fill करवाना है वो भी कर लिया है. ये हमने progress अब तक की है. Now nature of exceptional progress. The project is 6 days behind schedule. क्या progress क्या हुई है? हम 6 दिन लेट हैं भाई. वो because of a strike at Prime Printing. The company we have contracted with to print the questionnaires. The strike ended on such and such date, and we expect printed questionnaires this week. अब उसके बाद finally आप उसकी summary देंगे of work which has yet to be completed. The following work remains to be done: distribution of questionnaires, completion of interviews, analysis of data and preparation of the final report. अब देखिए इस progress report के अंदर आपने given a complete picture and that is what you should be doing. Now again quickly let me tell you कि periodic reports जो कि आपने regular भेजनी है उसका format क्या होगा? Same. To, from, date, subject is the same. And straight away put just one line. The expenditures you asked me to calculate for the credit department, ये मतलब सितंबर में हमने कितना एक्सपेंडिचर किया, फॉलो. आपने सैलरीज, सप्लाईज, टेलीफोन, प्रिंटिंग का एक कॉलम रखा. बिगनिंग बैलेंस आपका क्या था, आपका एंडिंग बैलेंस क्या है, आगे आपने अपने एक्सपेंसेस शो कर देने. वेरी सिंपल. आपने कोई इसमें सैल्यूटेशन नहीं, कोई आपने क्लोजिंग नहीं. दिस इज हाउ द पीरियड, बिकॉज ये पीरियोडिकली आपने भेजते जाना. आइए जस्टिफिकेशन की बात करें. मैंने आपको कहा था कि आपको बहुत बार ऐसी रिपोर्टें तैयार करनी पड़ेंगी जहां जो कि अनसोलिसिटेड है. अनसोलिसिटेड रिपोर्ट्स आर सच रिपोर्ट्स वेयर यू रिकमेंड समथिंग. और हियर द रिपोर्ट विच आई एम शोइंग टू यू टुडे इज दैट यू फील दैट इन योर डिपार्टमेंट पीपल आर spending lot of time, they are consuming lot of time because आपका एक ऐसा डिपार्टमेंट है जो सर्विसेज देता है. Means people come for preparation of reports. और वो जो रिपोर्ट्स जो बाइंडिंग होती है उसके अंदर आपके जैसे मैनुअली हमारे यहाँ भी की जाती है कि आप बुक बाइंडिंग से पहले आप पेज बाय पेज नंबर देखकर आप उनको इकट्ठा करते हैं. एंड यू डू इट केयरफुली सो दैट ये ना हो कि 10 के बाद 15 पेज आ गया, 15 के बाद 12 पेज चला गया. एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी कॉल इट इन इंग्लिश इज कोलैटिंग. तो यहां एक जस्टिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट है जिसके अंदर राइटर इज प्रपोजिंग टू हिज और हर बॉस दैट लुक हियर, अगर हम कोलैटिंग मशीन ले लें तो उससे ये होगा कि हमारी बहुत से टाइम सेविंग हो जाएगी. बट माइंड इट इन जस्टिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट जहां आपने कुछ चीज रिकमेंड करनी है वहां आप रिकमेंडेशन सबसे पहले लिखते हैं. डायरेक्ट अप्रोच है. यू what are you recommending is that must come first, और उसकी details बाद में आती हैं, ताकि the person gets to know what you are recommended is, उसका फायदा क्या है, and then you give in the further details. तो ये justification report का आप pattern देखिए. This will be a report which will be very helpful to you, because you will come up with lots of good ideas जो कि अपने boss को, अपने supervisors को, or maybe sometimes to your colleagues, you will need to convince them. And this is how you have to put in an idea through a justification report. वही आप date, to, from, and here the subject is need for automatic collator. The following information outlines the need for the purchase of an automatic collator. अब आपने statement of purpose and recommendations पहली. Because of the increasing employee time consumed by manually collating documents, the possibility of purchasing an automatic collator should be investigated. आपने एक recommendation दी. Justification क्या है? Outcome of justification is recommendation क्या है? By using an automatic collator, a considerable amount of employee time could be saved. Result would be higher employee productivity and greater efficiency, because employees could utilize their time to perform more worthwhile work. ये आपने recommendation की justification दी है. Now, suggested plan क्या है? An examination of the automatic collators manufactured by several different companies is recommended. आपने recommend किया है कि जो बना रही हैं उनको study किया जाए. Because of the different features found on the various devices, some collators would be more suitable than others. फिर उसके बाद आपने discussion करेंगे, उसकी recommendation, advantages और disadvantages देंगे, and that you can put in by कि अगर इसको हम use कर लेंगे, employees time बचेगा और savings होगी. And then the only disadvantage you can write is seen in purchasing an automatic collator is the cost, which is estimated to be approximately 10,000. So that's how you have to put in an idea. Okay? So, and then finally, conclusions. That automatic collator can be justified on the basis of number of sheets that have been collated. You understand? I'm just giving you a fairly good idea. आपने अगर letters लिखते हैं तो कैसे? आखिरी है letter reports. Here, it is simply, that is, whatever memo का आपने format है, उसके ऊपर straight away वो letter pattern whom it is addressed, and here you use the salutation. Dear Mr. So-and-so, whatever report you want to submit, that is, the changes you are making in your organization, the new system you have introduced, through a letter format, you can give the information. And then finally, closing वही, sincerely yours, if you are addressing there, मैंने ये pattern आपको बता दी है. So letter format भी आपने, just memo को आपने give the form of a letter, which can be used if you want to send it formally to a person outside your organization. But basically, information आपने वही जो कि memo में दी है, आप इसको letter format में convert कर सकते हैं. Today, I have given you a fairly good idea of how to write different forms of memos. और मैंने short reports का भी दिया. और इससे पहले मैंने आपको persuasive letters की भी examples दी. But keep in mind that you must practice memo writings a lot, because they are fairly simple, they are fairly easy, and you will be needing a lot of report writings during your official assignments. आपने जैसे देखा, आप even यहाँ आपने staff meetings करेंगे तो उसकी भी you can send reports of the staff meetings through memos. Anyway, I have given you a fairly good clue of how to write such reports, short reports, in the format of a memo. I believe you must have benefited today, especially when I said to you that this is the closing lecture of the letter writings. I believe that you will keep on practicing, and you will not simply forget what I told you throughout my lectures. You need to keep a good record of everything, the salient features, जो कि मैंने आपको plans दिए, जो कि मैंने आपको ideas दिए, but please go through them again and again. Keep remembering those plans and practice them in your everyday life. I believe one day you will master the art of writing, and especially the business writings, which will go a long way in bringing you up at the high ladder of your professional career. Thank you very much. I enjoyed today's lecture, and inshallah, in my next lecture, I'll come up with some new thing which again would be very useful for you. Thank you very much. Khuda Hafiz.